Hey guys, what's up? I'm pretty happy that I managed to snag myself a SNES Classic, so we're just going to take a quick look at that now. I've literally just powered it on. I'm just going to choose English. We're going to go through some of the games here. Interestingly, you need to unlock Starfox 2 before it'll let you play it. You need to play the first stage in Starfox, which is kind of strange. Quick look at the options first. There's not a lot of options on the SNES Mini. You have basic stuff for the display, so CRT filter on and off, 4:3 in pixel perfect mode, and a couple of kind of borders that you can put around the screen if you want to look at them. There's not really a lot to choose from here. Kind of underwhelming, if I'm honest. I just shoved it on pixel perfect mode, just for now. And then there's not really much in settings either. You can do screen burn-in reduction or reset to classic factory settings. That's kind of about it. Disappointingly, there's no manuals on here. There's no kind of help of any kind. You have to go online to get the manuals, which is kind of shitty, to be honest. It can't be that hard to put a few megabytes of game manuals on here. Anyway, let's take a quick look at Starfox so that we can unlock Starfox 2. Let's just go through some of the other games that are on here first. Looking at the back of the box, we have Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, Secret of Mana, F-Zero, Castlevania 4, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Earthbound, Contra 3, Super Punch-Out, Super Street Fighter 2, Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby Superstar, Yoshi's Island, Mega Man X, Super Mario Kart, Final Fantasy 3, Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Metroid, and of course Starfox and Starfox 2. The really cool thing about this actually is that not only is Starfox 2 brand new, but I think a couple of these other games have not been released here officially either. So for a start, in Europe, you would know Contra 3 as Super Probotector. So that's never been released here in its original form, which is cool. And I believe Super Mario RPG was never initially released here, but it was released on Wii Virtual Console, I think. But yeah, we're just going to load up, or we've loaded up already, sorry, I'm voicing this over having already recorded the footage. Starfox, so we're just going to play through the first level quickly. Oh man, it's been such a long time since I played Starfox. Or I should say, Star Wing if you're from Europe, because that's what it was called here. Which is why it's a little bit odd that it's called Starfox here, but that's the thing they're going with. These are the American versions, including the fact that they run at 60 Hz, which is going to be a little bit odd if you're a kind of 50 Hz Europe version purist. But personally, in recent years, I've abandoned that idea and I just play the 60 Hz versions of these games now, so I think that's a really good thing personally. But if you're not into that, you do not have the option to play the European versions of these games. It does not matter which version of the SNES Classic you get. I have the European version, and it has all the American ROMs on it, so yeah, that's the thing. If that's something you care about, maybe think about that. But yeah, Starfox is a fucking awesome game. We're just kind of slowly going through the first stage here. I'm getting to grips with the controls again, because again, I haven't played Starfox 1 since I was maybe 12. And age has maybe not been kind to it. It feels a bit stiff, and it looks, I mean, you can see what it looks like. It looks like very early 3D polygons. It's an amazing job for the time, but the version of Starfox that I have in my head is the Nintendo 64 Lilac Wars version. So obviously the nostalgia I have for this is kind of... This game's probably never going to live up to that. What I am more interested in, which we'll get to in a minute, is Starfox 2. I think what I'm going to do here is fast forward this, because we probably just want to get to Starfox 2. I mean, let's face it, that's what everybody's here for, right? Also, I love that Falco's such an asshole there. He's like, oh hey, somebody's on my tail, and then when you shoot it down for him, he's like, oh, mind your own business. What a dick. Okay, cool. So, the way you actually quit back to the main menu on the SNES Mini is you have to hit the physical reset button on the machine. There's no kind of start and select to back out to the menu, that kind of thing. So, I think I just wax reset here. Yep, there we go. And then it tells you, hey, you've unlocked Starfox 2. So now you can actually play it. Again, kind of strange, but I guess they wanted to make sure you at least have a basic understanding of the controls before you go into Starfox 2, because Starfox 2 is a very strange game compared to the first one. It does a lot of new and weird stuff that was kind of maybe really ahead of its time on the Super Nintendo. And this opening is fucking cool. This is the second time I'm seeing it because I'm voicing over the recorded footage, but man, my reaction to seeing this for the first time was just, I had a big grin on my face. This space dragon thing is cool, and then, oh man, he eats the spaceship, throws him into the other one. Like, this is cool. And again, kind of way ahead of its time for the... Doing this on a Super Nintendo was just insane. So I think that's the end of the cutscene. Yeah, and then it does the kind of fade in of all the different characters here. What's interesting is you have two more characters than in the first game. You have these two on the right. I believe they're called Miyu and Faye. Again, I'm just going to skip past this opening cutscene, and then we're going to get into the... not really the first mission, but... yeah, so the way this game works is kind of strange. You have kind of a real-time world map. I should say galaxy map rather than world map. And you have these missiles that move around and these spaceships that move around. And the idea, at least to begin with, I haven't played much of the game yet. The idea is you have to defend Corneria and keep it from taking too much damage. Beyond that, it's very similar to the first game, although you have a kind of walker, which you'll see when I do the first carrier here in a moment. But yeah, this kind of initial setup is kind of cool, and it's a really nice expansion on what the first game did in terms of being able to go multiple paths. Oh yeah, so the other thing you can do is you get to choose who you play as, which is cool, and then on top of that you get to choose a wingman. So obviously we have to pick Fox. I mean, there's no other choice. You have to play Fox. It's the law. And for our wingman, we're going to give one of the new guys a go. I think we choose Miyu or Faye. I can't remember. Yeah, we choose Miyu. Okay. So he's some kind of cat, lynx thing. I'm not sure what he is. That's really cool as well, actually, being able to draw textures on 3D polygons with the technology available on the SNES is kind of crazy. So yeah, I'm just trying to kind of figure out how the map works here. What you do is you kind of click on a spot and you can move toward it, and then everything else will kind of move in real time around you as well. And you get to choose where you go and what you tackle first. I tried heading to the space station, but I think that's friendly. I think it just gives you your health back or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, when you collide with an enemy or something you can interact with, you'll go into this first-person battle view. You don't seem to be able to switch out of first-person mode here when you're in space. Later on, you'll see third-person mode when I fly into a carrier. So you can switch between the two, but it seems like it's based on what you're doing at the time rather than giving you control over it. The other thing you'll notice is that even with very little taking place, so there was only one missile there, and then in the next battle there's I think 3 spaceships, the frame rate is awful. And again, to reiterate, this is a 60 Hz version. So it's not just slow because it's a European version. It's slow because I think it's pushing the SNES and the Super Effects chip to its limit. Although, of course, this isn't a SNES and this is not a Super Effects chip. It's running on an emulated... I'm assuming under the hood this thing's running some kind of Android. So why they couldn't just fix that and make it run a little bit faster? Seeing as this is an official release of the game, the first official release, because this never came out. So I don't know why they couldn't just tweak the frame rate a little bit there just by letting the emulator run at a faster frame rate. I don't know why they... Maybe that was too difficult to get right. I'm not sure. Emulation can be really tricky sometimes. But either way, this feels kind of sluggish to play. Visually, for a SNES game, it's incredible. And it's kind of nice to look at anyway. It's very nostalgic, but because most people haven't seen this before, it's not kind of the same old thing. So yeah, in this mission you get a target which you have to fly toward, and then when you get to it, which we should do in a moment, you actually fly inside it and get a little kind of trench run mission, which is cool. Yeah, so there's like a cutscene here and you fly inside it. It's kind of cool. Again, it runs really slowly and it feels very sluggish. So if you're used to maybe Lilac Wars on the N64, maybe don't expect too much from this. Especially with this walker thing that you can switch to. This just runs so slowly to the point where it feels really difficult to kind of move in the direction you want to go because you're never sure kind of how far behind the controls are. Which is another thing, I'm not sure if the controls are laggy here or if it's just the game. We'll move on to a couple of other games later on just to test that out. Yeah, so I blow up this base thing here. I wouldn't really call this the first boss because this isn't really a proper stage. This is kind of a sub-stage. But yeah, we've taken a quick look at that now. That's really cool. I'm really looking forward to actually playing through the whole game because I never did before. Even though, I mean, it's been available if you wanted to find it. But this is a completed version of it. And I can't wait to play this through properly. I might stream it, maybe. If not, I'll at least put up a video. And I think we quit out here. Yeah, and we're gonna head over and play some Contra 3, I think. Because I just want to test the controls. Because if they feel laggy in Contra, then my first instinct is to probably put the whole thing in the bin at this point, because non-laggy controls is super important for these old retro games. Of course, I'm recording over, so I know that they're not laggy, but we'll get in and just kind of play a little bit of first stage of Contra. This feels great, the controller is great. There's a little bit of slowdown in places, but it's the same slowdown you'd get from the original cartridge, so I can't be too upset in this case because the game runs very well for the most part anyway. But yeah, as you can see, I'm having no trouble here with the controls whatsoever. I think I do die a couple of times, but that's just me not being very good at the game. It feels fantastic. These things are a nice throwback to the original NES version, actually. These little tower things. But yeah, this is great. I'm really happy with this. I'm gonna probably be playing quite a lot of this because there's some nice RPGs on here. I think really the only glaring omission, there's a few games here and there that people would say, oh, why isn't this on there? Why isn't that on there? But I think really the one game I think that is missing from here that would have made this perfect is, of course, Chrono Trigger. If they had added that in, I think this would have been an absolute no-brainer. But as it is, it's a great product. I was expecting to be a little bit disappointed, especially with the £70 price tag. But it's cute, it's small, it's nice, it looks authentic, the controllers are authentic. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm reasonably happy to recommend this. Anyone who's thinking about getting one, of course, provided you can actually find one, I'd say yeah, shoot for it. It's awesome. Cool, take care guys. I'm just going to let this play out to the end of the first stage. And yeah, if you have any questions about it, shoot me a comment. I'll respond to the best of my ability if there's anything you want to know about the machine or what it does. But it's a fairly simple piece of kit. It's kind of, I mean, I've kind of showed off most everything already anyway. But yeah, enjoy guys. I'm going to let this play out to the end of the first stage. Take care.